You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
What are you laughing at?
You're singing along.
Yeah.
You get the feeling that these, sometimes you just get the feeling that these episodes we're doing here, we might do two of them.
I just got a nice birthday. I couldn't speak then. I just got a nice birthday message from Ricky O from Bali.
The man you said you were going to get on the podcast. Did you get my birthday message?
He'll come on. Yes, I did. Oh, well, Sue, from Sue.
No.
Yes, sorry, I did with the cake. Yes, I did. Thank you. No, Ricky O. How's this Ricky O? Because the wife's out of the clink and everything now, so she's out, which is great, which is fantastic. And I'm led to believe, you wouldn't believe it, the place that's called Flame has reopened, so we can go in there and have another massage.
And the coppers buy it?
I don't know, but I think it's reopened.
You said
Flame.
the police bought it.
I didn't say the police bought it.
Well, someone
How would
did.
the police? I don't know who bought
How
it.
would they believe?
I don't know, but it's reopened.
Well, it was allowed to be open because
And
they were leaving.
This is how cute Ricky O is. So just a cheerio to Ricky O. But he wrote, "Happy birthday, Wayan," because every fourth kid born in Bali is called Wayan. Did you know that? Yeah. There you go.
So
that's a bit of useless information for you. But anyway,
as I was just about to announce, in fact, I got nearly through it, and then you started all that. I said, you get the feeling that these episodes are just going to go from one crazy topic to another. And wow, you've started off by people love your. Have you stirred up a hornet's nest with the indigenous duck stuff? Someone said, "Oh, you should have known that. That was mentioned 4 years ago." Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. And then someone said the AFL have been hypocritical. You should have been in the indigenous team of the century. And then it's just gone on and on. And
Has
they
it?
loved. Yeah, no, it's just been extraordinary.
Well, when I get back from Bali,
And have you had a DNA test?
have I?
Yeah. What?
Have I had a DNA test?
What
For
did you
what?
think I was speaking to?
Well, what would I have a DNA test for?
Oh, now let's see.
You can't.
Maybe to see if you're indigenous.
Well, you can't have I don't think you can have just a DNA test.
Oh, can't you?
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Look. Like I said,
well,
the government. We've been over this. The
I know
government
we have.
gave me $2 checks,
I know.
and I did a little bit of work on that during the week. That's worth today.
$2 today.
Yeah, $2 back in the late 70s.
Yep.
What that's worth today?
No.
What do you reckon, roughly?
250.
No, I've got no idea. I was just. But it's a lot more than $2. I'll give you that. And you probably,
of course, it's a lot more than $2.
Well, if you could buy, say, you could probably buy 5 pots. I go off pots.
You relate everything to either drugs.
I do not.
No, I do. I relate to drugs.
Everything. No, to a pot of beer.
And
Well,
beer.
a pot of beer now or a schooner costs you
$20.
About $20. Yeah. Once upon a time, a cocktail was. Now a cocktail's about 26. A fluffy duck, or a Aperol spritz.
$14.77.
That's what it's worth today.
$15. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not that much.
So I did. You wouldn't notice around this room. You might that there's photographs, and of me, and there used to be photographs.
Well, there's a lot of you.
Well, because I store them here
I
when
know.
I go to functions, people sometimes like to buy action shots of me playing football because no one ever remembers I played football. And there were shots of Don Scott here, McSheen, not so many.
Yeah, you've said that. Yeah, I know, and I've
hang
picked out
on.
the ones. I've picked them out. I just haven't got them yet.
So he comes today. He's brought a photo in. Then I said, "Good on you. This is the photo he's brought in. Look at that. It's that's the photo. So I'm going to put it up on the wall here. Look, just put it up there on the wall.
Stimmerol.
Yeah, that's the photo he brought in. I say, so well done.
Well, Dennis, you know what? Dennis Pagan, actually, that's a good lead in there. So, Dennis, if you put that up on that wall, Dennis Pagan used to say, that whole wall there represents Sam Newman. All right, that whole white wall there. Then you put that card up there, Sam, and say, now this card represents a mistake that Sam's made. Why does everyone focus on the card and not the whole white wall?
So you've had an interesting domestic morning or week, or was that set in confidence?
I've had a birthday, as you know, yesterday.
Yeah.
39. Wowee. It's gone quick.
You're 39.
Yeah. It's gone quick.
Is that your IQ? How old are you?
How old? What I've done.
What year were you born in?
What I've done is this: I've gone. How old do I act? How old do I look? And,
this is how you go, is it?
And and how good my memory is.
Yep.
Right. And then I've sort of done I've done a Pythagoras theorem on that, and I've come up with that I'm roughly about 28.
Yeah, no, as I say, still matching your IQ.
I don't look a day over 60.
So what year were you?
I was born in 71.
I'll work that out shortly.
54, Sam.
54.
Jeez, yeah, 54.
And you were toned up and you got the...
I'm going to the gym today.
Are you?
Yes, yes, I did have a bit of a situation. No, it's just, people, I do talk a little bit about, when...
Your domestic life?
When you're trying to... juggle. When you've got mixed families, it's very difficult. It's very difficult keeping everyone happy at the same time. When there's kids, the kids involved, and then kids come and go, and they've got brothers and sisters. They've got halves here, halves there, halves everywhere.
Here a half, there a half. Sabotage you, one
everywhere,
family
half,
against the other.
Hey,
they're now starting to sabotage you.
Well, it's
one family giving information to another family which are trying to trip you up.
It's pretty easy. I tell you what, it's pretty easy to trip me up.
What did you get for your birthday?
I actually got a couple of nice jumpers.
Jumpers?
I haven't got all my presents yet because I haven't got around to all the families.
Well, what are some that have landed on your desk?
I got a couple of. I got a few jumpers. I got.
You said that.
Some jocks. I got a dressing.
A what?
A dressing gown.
You got a dressing gown. What a Hugh Hefner dressing gown?
It's got a little bit of hue about it. Yeah. It's got a bit of hue. I don't wear a dressing gown though. I'm a bit of I'm a Peter Alexander style soft shorts. Soft shorts, not and no top.
I say just these silk shorts with no top.
No, not the silk.
Well,
they're like that really soft material suit.
Silk?
No, it's not silk.
Well, that's a soft material.
Yeah, it's a material.
So who was the person that gave you a dressing gown that didn't know you didn't wear them? Dressing gowns.
No, that was one of my children that gave me that. Obviously she didn't purchase it. Her mum would have purchased it.
So her mother, the mother of the child that gave you the dressing gown, said, "Give Dad a dressing gown because he doesn't wear them." That should piss him off.
I don't know whether she said because he doesn't wear them, but I'm not a big dressing gown wearer.
So how did that go over? When you opened it?
Because I'll tell you why. Because I don't like birthdays. I'm a giver, not a receiver. I actually hate receiving gifts. I don't know about you. If someone gives me something, I get very awkward and very uncomfortable. I don't like it. And I am one of those people that those white lies you tell it that are okay.
Yeah.
And they give it to you and you go, oh, exactly what I needed.
Did you do that with the jumpers and the jocks?
Yep, and the dressing gown as well.
So you went over the top with the dressing gown. Gee, that's really good. I like that.
Yeah,
Were you sprung being...
I'm a giver.
Not being disingenuous?
You'd be a receiver, I reckon. I'm a giver, you're a receiver.
What, like getting gifts?
You're a receiver, I reckon.
No, I don't like getting gifts.
Yeah.
What? So how did that go over the dressing
I tell you what we did make the news on, and I saw on our Twitter talking about receiving, and that is the Perth Bears.
Yes, that's Perth Bears. If you join up, that's a gay men's club.
Yes, so we got a bit of...
Are we in? Are we members?
No, on my Twitter it came up, they did this good collage of Joe Rogan and us.
Yeah.
Talking about the Perth Bears. Here it is. It's breaking. Perth Bears mistaken for Dairy Palm sitting after NRL forgets how the internet works. Anyway, it's quite funny. I'll show you in the ad break.
Okay, so we've had two laughable events.
Yes,
sporting events. I don't know if you
State of Origin tonight. Who do you go for, please? If you say what I think you're going to say, we might have a bit of trouble in here. As soon as they
I would have no allegiance to anyone.
You don't follow any of them?
Well, I follow. I'll watch the State of Origin.
Who do you go for?
Fair dinkum.
Who do you go for?
To our State of Origin football games.
Who do you go for?
I don't go. I would probably go for, because a friend of mine was Fatty Vorton, I would probably go for the Maroons.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so
I probably would.
You tosser. I can't. You know what? There's a lot
damned if I don't go for anyone.
There's a lot of, I can't work out why
Tosser.
so many Victorians, I know they all holiday up at Noosa. They all like fluttering around at Noosa, all the Melburnians.
That's a gay. What do you think? People who go to Noosa are gay?
No, they flutter around up at Noosa. So for a lot of reasons, they seem to go for the Maroons.
Well, if Fatty Vorton played for New South Wales, I would say I'd go for what are they called?
So the coach of New South Wales this year is Laurie Daly. He has coached before, but he's a Junee boy, which is just outside of Wagga Wagga. So obviously I'm a New South Welshman.
Where's Mel Meninga gone?
Mel Meninga is obviously a Queenslander. I'd tell you why. You know what, I know. I've just realised why a lot of Melburnians in particular go for the Maroons, and that's because you had Slater, Smith, all of those guys all played for.
And there's a genuine rivalry between Melbourne and Sydney as the best city.
Yeah, but I'll be sitting up. I got Carter a little New South Wales top to wear.
And what, are you going to just go around to that bloke who you invited
Jules?
me? You're going round to Jules' joint?
You know what? I haven't made any plans, but that could be on the cards tonight.
He patched it up with his missus when he had the hookers around while she was away. Well, he said that.
He did not.
He did.
They were strippers.
Oh, no. I beg your pardon.
Yes.
Yeah, they were strippers.
Come on. Anyway.
Oh,
yes,
Well,
I wasn't there, by the way. It's another
another
party I missed.
No.
I never seem to be there. Anyway, so State of Origin tonight. I just want to say
never
that
seem to be there when the strippers are there. Oh dear me!
I don't know whether it's just dumb luck or me being smart, but I haven't seemed to be there when that stuff's gone on. So anyway, I'm going for New South Wales for what it's worth.
Yeah. Why did you lambaste me for just saying?
I could just tell you were going to be a Queenslander.
No, you couldn't. You didn't know I was.
You put your fake tan on, and you'd be a Noosa goer. I'll tell you what, though, if you do go to Noosa, don't stay at the RACV club. You ever stayed there at Noosa?
No, Duck, I haven't.
Just up the hill. Past the
if you say so, I'm not familiar with the
Noosa Tigers
geography.
Footy Club.
Yes,
actually, they should.
I've spoken there.
Have you? You have. So have I. Actually.
Yeah.
Went down very well. I actually stayed and watched the whole game with the. You wouldn't have done that.
Oh no.
You would have just done your talk and taken your.
That's right.
Moolah.
Spondula. No, I did nothing. I did over nothing.
Actually, that was a very good footy club. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that club.
So what if I go up the hill?
RACV club.
Yeah.
It's very good for it's good for kids. It's got the big 3-bedroom
Well, I better
units.
go there because I love to be sitting around the pool and having screaming kids rushing around and vomiting everywhere and pissing in the pool. That's my go. I'll go to an exclusive.
No, well, the RAs they have pools in villas that they
pools
have
in
there.
pools.
They have pools at the villa.
Is that one of the swimming pools you've pissed in?
I don't reckon there's been a pool that I haven't.
No, that's it. So that'll be a yes.
And the bath.
So
surely you've done the odd leak in the bath.
Well, but that is my personal water.
Hang on, so you wouldn't. This is quite funny actually. I don't know how we got onto this, but you brought it up. So you wouldn't piss in an Olympic-sized swimming pool?
No,
but you'd pee in your own bath.
Well,
and then
hang on,
bath in it.
Just a minute.
You'd bath in your own wee.
Just I wouldn't bath in my own wee, but if you are having a bath and you take the plug out, the gurgling of the water while you're lying in the bath and it's just going out, I've got a feeling some urine might escape from my penis, duck.
Hang on, I just find that funny.
I
just find it funny. You think it's dirty that you pee in a big pool, but you piss in your own bath. Anyway.
I don't piss in it and lie in it. When the water's draining out of it, I might just say, fuck it, I'll just evacuate my... What am I talking about? Because then you get out and have a shower, don't you? Or you stand up and have a shower, don't you? Because you have all that grime on you. Don't you?
Not if you don't pee in your own bath, you're probably okay to get straight out.
No, but
put a bath bomb in. Put a bath bomb in and...
Bath bomb? When you get out of the bath and the water...
Sammy's still got a soap on a rope.
So when you
probably ties it to his wrist so he can't lose it in the bath. He's look at it.
So when you get out of the... Look at you. You've been amused at your own humour. Look at you. Look like a Chinaman.
I could just picture with a soap on a rope.
Well, good on you. So when you get out of the bath after the water's gone, there's that black ring around the top of it, isn't it?
No,
Always.
no.
There is.
No, because I've got a bath bomb in there.
What's that?
A bath bomb. It dissolves in the water, and you can get it all different colours. It has a beautiful fragrance.
Well, if I get in to have a bath, I put the salts in. What do you call it? The
Epsom salts.
Lots of
the
them.
Radox.
Well, yes, Radox.
Remember the old Radox?
Yes.
You'd put that in there, and then you'd have a broken leg. And you'd get in there with the Radox. Chalky here, he would have got in with he would have gone in with a broken leg and put the Radox in and then bounced out, ready to go. It's a bit like the magic spray. You know, you've got to. Oh yeah, I'm good to go.
Yeah, you're not on anything today, are you?
No, I'm just. You know what?
You're just up.
I'm well slept.
You sure? You
what
sure?
do you mean?
You're ebullient today.
I've had 2 apples.
What?
I've had 2 apples this morning.
2 apples.
An apple a day. What's an apple a day?
Oh, this is like kindergarten. This is like, I don't know. What is it? Oh, Humpty Dumpty.
So what's 2 apples then?
Eh? What's 2 apples?
Well, if an apple a day keeps the doctor away, what does 2 apples do? Okay.
Keep you away for...
Let's get a little bit
away for 2 days.
Let's get a little bit serious now because I just want to bring up. So can we talk a little bit of footy off the top?
Yeah. Do you remember the first thing I said before you went off in this tangent?
What?
2 laughable events that have happened.
Yes, get to them.
Well, I was about to.
I've been waiting for you to bring them up.
Well, you've gone off on a tangent about living at the RACV and what team do I barrack for, belting me because I just have a friend. So this weekend...
The 2 events, yep.
So you wouldn't watch the Formula One, the Monaco Grand Prix, or Monaco. I call it Monaco.
Monaco, I call it.
All right, good. That they should take that off the calendar, or just make it just a car show where the cars drive around and.
Why?
Because it's a nonsensical event. Because if you get to the first corner first, that's it.
Really?
You cannot pass.
You can't pass.
You can't.
Oh, well, that's...
And it happened. We watched it. I watched it at 3:00 in the morning, and it was a joke. And it's well patronised, and they do all the hoopla. But they should just
isn't that meant to be? That's meant to be the most prestigious one.
Yeah, because it's Monaco, and it's where
I reckon Singapore's pretty damn good.
Yeah, because at least
it's a night one.
Absolute joke. The Formula One Grand Prix in Monaco, which is in Monte Carlo.
Yes. Yes.
So that was and the second the Doug Nicholls round is the most
not far from nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
What's Doug Nicholls got to do with nice?
I was just Monaco.
What's Doug Nicholls got to do with Monaco?
No, I said Monaco's not far from nice, and I was waiting for you to say Nice.
Were you? I'm going to have him. I want you to. I want you to leave a sample of your.
Oh, come
Give
on.
us a. What
Come
are
on.
you on?
It's
What are
Wednesday
you on?
morning. I'm happy. Come on.
The Doug Nichols round.
Sir Doug Nichols round, yep.
Yes, Sir Doug.
Yep.
Great name for it.
Yes.
What an absolute laughable, virtuous crock of nonsense. I've never. What is the feckless, vapid people running this competition doing? It was a joke.
What was a joke about it? You know, you're talking to
an Indigenous man.
No, come on. Well, what was a joke about it? Put your serious hat on. Okay. What was a joke? Was it just gone too far? Now we did speak about this last week. The thing that I didn't like about it, I'll tell you what I didn't like about it. Said the centerpiece is the Dreamtime game. Now they've got all of these games leading into Dreamtime. I think it devalues the Dreamtime game. So the one that the big centerpiece that Sheeds was all about, that big game is just this year you didn't really it didn't stand out because of all the games that have gone on around it, and there was already a whole week.
So the
played
AFL have
beforehand.
obviously said to their people who work for them, let's have a meeting and let's see if we can come up with the most patronising, virtuous piece of nonsense we can do to celebrate the great Sir Doug Nichols, who incidentally played for Fitzroy. And you would think that the Indigenous people had something to do with inventing our game. Our game was invented by Tom Wills, along with Willsey, not Smeetsy, Willsey. And Tom Wills invented the game alongside his uncle, Mr. Harrison. That's how they got Harrison House, perhaps. Anyhow, he returned to Queensland, Tom Wills, and his father and 18 of his station hands were slaughtered by Aboriginal tribes, but so much so that the game was in jeopardy of actually ever getting a start. But he pushed on, and he invented Australian rules football. You would think the Indigenous people have invented the game, run it, have got something to do with its development. It was an absolute laughing disgrace that the AFL must have said to their charges, let's sit round a room and see who can be the most patronising, come up with the most patronising, obsequious nonsense for a round of football. Let me tell you what they came up with. First of all, they decided to call it the Doug Nicholas. Sir Doug Nicholas. Very good. Yep. 10th tick. Anniversary.
That's a tick, is it, for you?
That is a tick. Then they said, well, let's paint the goal squares in the colours of the Aboriginal flag and the Islander flag. Yep. Right? And they said, we'll tick that.
So is that a tick for you?
No, hang on. The rest of these are just bullshit.
Okay, so that's a cross. That's a con.
Take the rest of them as crosses.
Okay.
Sir Doug Nicholas round is fantastic. Let's celebrate the fact that he played football, and a handful, in relative terms, wait for this, a handful of Aboriginal players have made our game great, in relative terms, which means there's been some great Aboriginal footballers, but they are, in the overall scheme of things, of the people who've played the game, they're just a handful. So hang on.
More than a handful.
How many people do you think have played AFL, VFL football since the start of when it started?
I don't know. You tell me.
Thousands, tens of thousands.
Tens of
How
thousands.
many Aboriginal players?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's more than a handful. A handful's 5.
Oh, mate, I said in relative terms.
Yes, I know. I get it.
It could be 200. It could be 500. That pales into insignificance about how many people have played the game. So they said. So this is the AFL have said, I'll give you a pay rise, or we'll strike a medal, or we'll give you AFL life membership if you can come up with the most ridiculous things we can foist onto the public during the Doug Nichols round. One of them was paint the goal squares, right? Mm-hmm. Then someone said, well, why don't we write slogans on the ground? You know, they wrote slogans on the ground. Did you see them printed? And then they said, I'd tell you a good idea. Why don't we paint frilly little pictures around the goal square? around the centre square, frilly little pictures of lizards and I don't know what they are, leaves or something. Let's do that. And I said, good, we'll give you a tick for that. Why don't we then colour in the centre circle, and that'll be good. Someone said, right, that's good. That'll get you a life membership.
So I get your point. I get your point.
Why don't we make the jumpers so unrecognisable you don't know who's playing? Why don't we do that?
Yep, let me have a view.
Put squiggly
I think
snakes and things on the waterfalls. That'd be a great idea. And then why don't we confuse people by calling them teams completely different names on grounds that you don't? Why don't we paint the football? Why don't we see if we can paint the football in snake colours? Why don't we get imposters to come onto the ground and do dances and light fires while the people who are going to play the game stand for 10 minutes warming down? They've warmed up inside. They've come onto the ground. They stood for 10 minutes while someone danced in front of them. Why don't we get a woman to come out in a bearskin and lecture us about who we are, where we are, why we're here, welcome us to who? It's everyone's country. If ever you wanted an excuse to disband Welcome to Country, that is it. It was an absolute, it was cringeworthy.
So let me have the same. Let me have the last word.
Let
me have the last word,
please,
because we know how you feel. We get it every week.
Every game they did it in front of.
What I'll agree with is it does seem to have. You're right. So you don't have to have every element of the game, like the balls, the grounds, it has gone. I think
jumpers.
The jumpers. The jumpers. I love the yard. I love the fact that if you go overseas, Sam, and you watch the NBA or the grid, like they have numerous different jumpers.
What about if you stay in Australia and watch Australian rules football?
What I'm saying, I know they can have. Listen,
the North Melbourne jumper, when it first club was initiated 100 years ago, has blue and white stripes. Why in God's name don't you play the traditional jumpers? Why? No one could understand who was playing. Where they were playing, what they were talking about, and the subservient pissweak media, those grovelling people who just go obsequious. They say, "Oh, isn't this great?"
While we're talking about the media, your mate, your good mate, who I've defended on this podcast, Caro, right? She had a breaking story last week while you're in hospital. But the massive story that I was going back to North Melbourne for the first time since I left in 2001. That is the most. Great? No, but that is the most. And I text her. I hope it was her number or someone, Caro, in my phone. But I did text. I did text her just saying that it was putrid journalism.
Well, did you?
Yeah.
Because
Caro. That story that she went on the news last week, and then not only on the news, then went on her footy show, whatever show that she's on, and literally said, and Wayne Carey be going back to the footy club for the first time. I've been to 10 plus functions at that club. I've gone back to
got that wrong.
They did their top 10 players of all time. They've had. In actual fact, I went there for one of the big functions.
She wouldn't have got that wrong.
They did. I went back there a year after that.
She's captivating
I've been back numerous times. There's even vision of me being on the ground with everyone last week.
Accurate. She is fantastic.
This is what
never gets anything wrong. Couple of things wrong.
I'll say this and I'll say this again.
The Crows training regime a few years ago.
Surely
she's fantastic and a joy to watch.
Can I just
articulate, and even though she mocked disabled athletes and said people only go to watch them fall over, sometimes she gets it wrong. Sometimes she made Beverly O'Connor drove her into depression by bagging her at a function. Sometimes
just let me finish what she said about you.
Don't start bagging Caro.
Just let me finish this, please. Let me get it out.
You've got the wrong girl.
She said about you when you did your mannequin thing. She said how you affected her family. Let me finish, please. She said you affected her family. Well, I just want to say this.
Did I?
I just want to say this, Caro. How many families have you affected?
Yeah.
Because I reckon you've affected a lot. And when I say a lot, that just blatant bull, you know what? She has literally gone on just last week and blatantly made, like said, first time coming back. There's been numerous. James Heard continues. There's numerous families she's affected. She cried, Paul, when you did something that was
dressed her up as a mannequin.
That's wrong. But she said, "Oh, he doesn't realise how that affects my family." I hope she realises how many families she's affected.
But don't say she's a hypocrite. She is fantastic.
Well, I needed to get that off my chest because she didn't get back to me on my text message. For starters, I do see Caro around the traps. I see her around the traps.
What, jogging? Jogging around?
Me jogging?
No, her.
No, she's not jogging.
Not a jogger?
I don't know whether she's a jogger.
Where do you see her around the traps?
I see her at Dundas and Fawcett a bit.
Does she? Well, but I think I don't watch the footy shows.
I needed to get that off my chest because it's just putrid journalism. She should be held. Anyone that makes up a story for the sake, anyone that just embellishes the truth for the sake of a story, they've got to be held accountable.
But
anyway,
but she gets
you get held accountable for just talking to someone.
That's it.
Anyway.
But she gets some things wrong, Doug. I mean, she's
some. Well, the
things.
more I've delved.
No, she's very, very accurate, and she can speak about the nuances and the intricacies of the game.
That's enough.
Has she ever played? Was she ever in the AFLW waffle?
Oh, she grew up with footy. Her dad was the president of Richmond. She grew up. She grew up around all of those legends, all of those legends of Richmond. She grew up. She hung around them.
So she's played. So
she knows footy probably as well as anyone.
Would she have been in a women's football team
I've
to understand?
No idea
how hard it is to play.
I
think you got the wrong girl.
Let's get on.
She is fantastic. I take exception to the fact that you've come down hard on her, because if you want to watch a footy show and there she was. What a delight to watch her. She's attractive. She's ebullient, and
Sam.
she's.
Sam, you don't need to talk about someone's looks. We're talking about someone not telling the truth.
About your looks.
I know you do pop me, but I can cop it.
Well,
I'm going to get that chopped off.
That's right. Get that cut off. You're an attractive man.
Oh, above average.
What's wrong with talking about people's looks?
Probably you're not allowed. Well, you're not allowed to say that anymore.
What about?
Going to give myself a 5.5. But you're not allowed.
What, you can't give people numbers out of 10?
No, you can't.
Remember when you used to say a woman was a 10?
You're not allowed to say that anymore.
We can say it.
No, you can't.
Well, you can't.
You're not allowed. You're not allowed to sit there and judge someone like that now because you're sending the wrong message.
I'm not judging a person when I say that, but remember
you can judge me because it's how I take it. You can say to me, "Get the mole chopped off your." You can say.
I'm not saying anyone we're talking about is a 10 or a 9 or 8, but. Remember when you used to give ratings to women or people you went out with?
I've never done it.
You've never said there's a 6?
Probably in my head. I've never said it.
Oh, so when you're loaded up with 150 Bundy and Cokes and you're out with the lads and someone walks by, there's a 6. You've never said that to the lads?
I've never been a person that does that.
What rate people on their looks?
Given a number. I've never given a number.
What? But that's what everyone used to do.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe back in your day, when you went in selling your products to your salons, did you walk in and go, "Oh, she's a 7 and she's a 6"?
Not many people. A
lot of boys just
usually
recently at private schools just got in a lot of trouble for young boys doing that exact thing, rating girls. So it's not. You don't do it.
No, it is really bad.
Don't do it.
How do you remember the film 10?
Do
you remember the film?
Derek.
Yeah. Why was it called 10?
Oh, because
she was a 10.
Yes.
Remember running along the beach with the breastal areas jiggling up and down and just that string bikini, and people said, "Christ, she's a 10." That was 40 years ago.
That was 40 years ago.
You want to see her now?
I'm talking. Listen.
She looks like a bucket full of smashed crabs.
Have we got time to talk footy, or are we going to do that in the next one? You've been very annoying today. It must be. You talk about me being on bloody something. How many painkillers you're on?
That was my line. I said you're on something.
Yeah, I know. How many painkillers are you on today?
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I'm just going to finish. That last week of football is the most ridiculous, patronising nonsense I've ever seen. Before every game, and the players stood around for 10 minutes, and you thought, why? What's going on here? What are we trying to say? That they've invented the game, we've invented the game. Could we be? It's just pathetic. And if ever there was, we've got to get rid of Welcome to Country.
When we're talking,
please,
when we're talking about footy, I just want to bring something up. It came across my feed on Twitter. And it was a lady that used to look after the North Melbourne boy, Judy Francis.
Yes.
And it made me think, did you ever have anyone at your footy club when you were playing, did you ever have anyone come there and cook back in your day? Did they come and cook some soup or cook meals or do anything like that? Yeah, like on a Thursday night or where you'd come in. Anyway, so we had this Judy Francis and it bobbed up on my feed.
Was she a good-looking girl?
It brought back memories because Judy would cook us soups. She'd make pastas. She'd do certain things, but she would give the guys. She'd hit them straight between the eyes. If they didn't play well, they'd come in to get some soup. She'd go, "You don't deserve a soup tonight."
I see.
She goes, "You were terrible on the weekend." And then it reminded me of then our accountant at North, Steve Rieger. I don't think he's with us anymore.
I'm following this.
You had to, when you went in to get your paycheck, if he thought you played. If he didn't think you played up the standard, you wouldn't get paid. And this is early 90s.
Yeah.
This is early 90s at
paid.
North Melbourne. If he thought you were no good, so then obviously I'd go straight to Dad, Greg Miller, and go, "Greg, he's not paying me." Then Greg would have to go in and see Steve. He's a great man, Steve, but once you got to know him, when you first started out, these people that hit you between the eyes, these people that just love the footy club, that just... just great people. They don't have those sort of people around footy clubs anymore.
Maybe Auntie Joy got her guide from those people, so she said she can now welcome people onto the ground and allow them to play. That's very good of her, isn't it?
Listen, you can't keep flogging a dead horse.
Well, if they continue with
do
Welcome
it,
to
you will.
Country and doing all that crap, mate, we'll keep doing it.
Okay.
They're taking the piss out of the game.
All right. Are we going to talk? Have we got time or no? We'll go.
We will.
Cut off here and then we'll talk some footy.
Well, so I want to ask you this. So if a quarter ends, we'll talk about
a quarter.
If the siren goes and the quarter ends or the game ends, and you've got a kick at goal, you've got a free kick, and you're on an angle, and you run out to banana it in.
It's play on.
So it's null and void, the kick.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
How often do you reckon that rule would be applied? If someone's standing, it's about to kick, and they stand side on, and they take one step over there.
It's play on. It used to be play on.
That's the end of the game.
Yeah, correct.
Or the quarter.
Yes, correct. But wait
till that doesn't get
the new
paid.
rule. The new rule though that has come in, Sam. If you're on an angle, so you don't have to run. You don't have to run directly at the person on the mark. I don't think. I think if you go off the mark, you just have to kick it where that line was. If you're on a really tight angle, I'm pretty sure.
Say that again, Duck.
So if you go off the mark, so if I was on my left side and I'm on the boundary,
yes,
and I go further towards the fence,
yes,
and then I can come back to where the mark was,
as long as you don't
go over that.
Oh yes, absolutely correct. Duck.
Yes, thank you.
And why did you mention that?
I was just saying. So they're the little changes within the game.
Games you watched. I honestly couldn't watch.
You know how many 50-metre penalties were paid last week that determined the stand rule, and a player just moves an inch and the umpire pays it. It's becoming very tiggy touchwood.
Oh, really?
A lot of the footy. But we'll talk footy because I know you only like to go a certain amount of time. We don't want to get into a footy conversation now. And
I was keeping my eye on the time, Doug. We hadn't quite reached.
Yeah, but you're on painkillers.
What?
You're on the painkillers. How is the foot?
What?
How is the foot?
It's
the ankle.
Yeah, it's wrapped up in plaster.
Does it feel like it?
What, doctor?
They've done the job. You know, you normally get a feeling, I reckon, about 3 or 4 days.
Feels like a big leg of ham, a lump of ham sitting in the
Very
end of my leg.
Yeah.
So I can't tell until
Still not walk. Oh, have you got a? Oh, yeah, I saw there. You got a little walking scooter or
a knee scooter I've got.
a knee scooter.
And this is about the time we wind us
Okay,
up. You're starting
all right.
to speak shit.
All right. Okay.
Right.